To be perfectly fair and honest here, the NFL coaching carousel is absolutely brutal. Sure, they get paid quite handsomely, but coaching is a grind, and finding a job is even worse. Think about it. Your entire life's work evaluated and scrutinized for the entire world to see. Every single year, there's a fresh crop of fired football coaches, and it's surprisingly rare how few get one more shot, especially right away. Many have tried to take a step back and become coordinators, or in some cases, position coaches. Others take a year off and just keep holding out hope that they'll find another opportunity to be a head coach. But some coaches, well, they don't ever get another chance. Ever. We're not talking about guys who failed quietly, we're talking about the spectacular disasters filled with scandal or incompetence that defy explanation. These are the coaches who torched their NFL careers so thoroughly that no team will ever give them another shot. Some might still be coaching in college, some may have landed in the media, but some just disappear. With that said, let's dive right into it. Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer was one of the greatest college football coaches of all time. 3 national championships, a proven winner at 2 different schools, finally making the jump to the NFL. The expectations were sky high. He lasted a mere 13 games. Yeah, Urban Meyer went 2-11 with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2021. That's more losses in one partial season than he had in 7 years at Ohio State. And yet somehow that record wasn't even the worst of it. First, the bar video. After a loss to the Bengals, Meyer stayed in Ohio instead of flying back with the team. He was then caught on video at a bar with a young woman who was not his wife. The video went viral and he had to apologize to the team. Then there was the Josh Lambo incident. The team's kicker alleged that Meyer kicked him during warm-ups. The laundry list of complaints about Meyer seemed to just go on and on. He allegedly called his assistants losers in staff meetings and hired a strength coach who had been accused of racist remarks. Lest we forget, he signed Tim Tebow, who hadn't played in 6 years, to play tight end. If that wasn't a sign that Meyer was in over his head, I don't know what is. One staffer allegedly called it the most toxic environment that they had ever been a part of. Meyer was fired in December of 2021, and now he works as a Fox Sports analyst on Big Noon Kickoff. He continues to act like he has no interest in coaching anymore, and maybe that's true, but I think there's one thing that's for certain. While he may get college jobs floated by him still, he will never be handed the reins of an NFL franchise ever again. Not after the spectacle that he created in Jacksonville. Bobby Petrino. Look, there's quitting on a team, and then there's quitting on a team the way that Bobby Petrino did. In 2007, Petrino was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Things weren't going great, 3-10 record, but the season wasn't quite over. Then Arkansas came calling with a job offer, and what Bobby Petrino did next became legend, and all but ensured that he'd never get another coaching job in the NFL ever again. He left a laminated note in the locker room announcing his departure, like he was posting a menu at a restaurant. I have resigned as head coach. I'm sorry, but this is the best thing for both of us. Keep in mind, this is a guy who had personally promised owner Arthur Blank that he was staying. He looked him in the eye, gave him his word, then left within 24 hours. There's a reason that folks like Lawyer Milloy, a veteran safety, wrote one word on his resignation note: coward. That was pretty light compared to what Mike Zimmer, one of his staffers at the time, had to say about him, as he publicly called him a gutless bastard. But wait, there's more. Once he got down to Arkansas, new trouble brewed. In 2012, Petrino was fired from Arkansas after a motorcycle accident revealed that he was having an affair with an athletic department staffer that he had been hiding for months. The now 64-year-old has bounced around college programs ever since. Texas A&M offensive coordinator, Arkansas offensive coordinator again, and now he's at North Carolina. But make no mistake about it, no NFL team will ever hire this man again. Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is the only coach in NFL history since 1970 to be fired before the end of his second season, with 2 different teams. His first head coaching job was with the Denver Broncos in 2009. It did not go well. He alienated Jay Cutler so badly that the Broncos had to trade him. His team got caught videotaping a 49ers walkthrough practice, shades of Spygate, only without the winning. He was ultimately fired midway through the 2010 season with an 11-17 record. After this, he went back to New England. He rebuilt his reputation as Bill Belichick's offensive coordinator, and in 2018, the Indianapolis Colts hired him as their next head coach. Then, he just backed out, same day that he accepted the job. His own agent dropped him over this, and yet somehow, against all odds, he got another chance, this time with the Las Vegas Raiders in 2022. And surprise, surprise, it went even worse. Players went directly to owner Mark Davis with complaints. A team meeting got so heated that multiple reports said it broke McDaniels. Remember, he lost to Jeff Saturday, a coach whose only previous experience was at a high school and was hired the week of. When all was said and done, he was fired after 25 games. 9-16 record. Josh McDaniels is back with the Patriots for his third stint as a coordinator, and the man is thriving. But geez, you gotta think that NFL GMs have learned their lesson now, even if McDaniels hasn't. Some guys are just better off as coordinators. Plain and simple. Please do not let this man take the reins again. Hugh Jackson. When the highlight of your head coaching career is an 8-8 season with the Raiders, that's when you know things didn't go well. After all, there's a reason that no NFL team will touch Hugh Jackson ever again. 1-31. That is Hugh Jackson's record over his first 2 seasons with the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, you heard that correctly. 1 win, 31 losses. The second 0-16 season in NFL history. Not to mention all the hand-waving, excuses, and outright delirium that followed. When asked about his tenure, Hugh Jackson said, and I'm not making this up, "That was some of the best coaching I did." Oh. 3 wins in nearly 3 seasons. Best coaching he ever did. After Cleveland finally fired him, he briefly joined the Bengals as a special assistant. That lasted just a few months before he was let go. He's been bouncing around FCS programs ever since. Grambling State, Tennessee State, Georgia State. But man, it'll be a cold day in hell before another NFL team trusts him to lead their troops into battle on Sundays. Nathaniel Hackett. Despite being a highly sought-over candidate, in part because of the Aaron Rodgers free agency sweepstakes, Nathaniel Hackett failed miserably as a head coach. Hackett's game management issues became so glaring that the Broncos actually hired Jerry Roseburg, a retired coach, in order to stand next to him on the sideline and help him make decisions. They literally hired a coach for their head coach in order to help him with basic decision-making. I think that should tell you everything that you need to know. Hackett was fired before the season even ended, the shortest tenure in Broncos history. He landed with the Jets as offensive coordinator in 2023, but surprise, surprise, that didn't go much better, as the offense was near the very bottom of the league in key categories, and he was stripped of play-calling duties mid-season. Hackett found a role in Green Bay as a defensive analyst, but I think it's safe to say that you're not going to be seeing NFL teams lining up to bring Hackett in as a head coach ever again. Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly was supposed to revolutionize the NFL. His up-tempo offense at Oregon was unstoppable. He was gonna change everything, but instead, he got 3 chances and, well, he failed every single time. His first stop was the Philadelphia Eagles. He went 26-21 as head coach. Not terrible on paper, but what he did to the roster was, it was completely unforgivable, seemingly trading away any star player that he could. After that, his second stop was the San Francisco 49ers. In 2016, Chip Kelly went 2-14, one of the worst seasons in franchise history. In fact, it was so bad that the entire organization was all but burned to the ground afterward. You would think that would be enough. But no. In 2024, the Las Vegas Raiders hired Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator. They gave him $6 million, highest salary for an OC in NFL history. And wouldn't you believe it? The Raiders finished last in total offense, last in scoring offense, dead last in both categories. He was fired after 11 games. So Kelly's now back in the college ranks, and you gotta think that's where the 61-year-old is gonna spend the rest of his days. Because boy, I think at this point, if an NFL team burns money on him, well, they're just asking for disaster. Adam Gase. Ah, yes, the curious case of Adam Gase, the man who rode Peyton Manning's coattails in Denver to build a reputation as an offensive guru, which he then parlayed into the Dolphins' job in 2016. Gase went 23-25 over 3 painfully mediocre seasons, and then came the Jets, and the whole thing just fell apart. 9-23, 32nd in total yards, 2 consecutive years. The worst offense in all of football, run by a brilliant offensive mind as he was introduced by the Jets leadership. But here's the truly damning part. Players who left Adam Gase always seem to get better somewhere else. Ryan Tannehill went to Tennessee and led the NFL in passer rating. Jarvis Landry left and thrived in Cleveland. Kenyon Drake improved in Arizona. Devontae Parker finally broke out after Gase was gone. How do you explain that? If your system makes every player worse, maybe the system is the problem. Gase, thankfully, is now out of coaching entirely, and has been ever since the Jets canned him in 2021. Let's all pray that it stays that way. Freddy Kitchens. Freddy Kitchens walked into one of the most talented Browns rosters in decades and somehow lit the whole thing on fire. Baker Mayfield, coming off a promising rookie season. They just brought in Odell Beckham Jr. fresh from a blockbuster trade, and Nick Chubb was in the process of really becoming a star. Now, I mean, the expectations weren't quite Super Bowl or bust, but they were higher than they'd been in Cleveland in some time. The result? 6-10. Week 1 set the tone for the entire disaster. 18 penalties, the most by any team since 1951. And sadly, it just never got better from there. Team ranked in the top 5 in penalties all season long, and every week there was some new discipline issue. Then there was the t-shirt. After the Myles Garrett helmet incident, where Garrett infamously hit Mason Rudolph over the head with his own helmet, Cleveland was set to play Pittsburgh in the rematch. Before the game, Freddy Kitchens was photographed at the movies wearing a shirt that said, "Pittsburgh started it." The head coach wearing that shirt, days before one of the most emotionally charged games of the season. Just unprofessional. Kitchens was fired just hours after the final game of the season. The man couldn't survive one full year. He's since been back in college football, most recently working under Bill Belichick at North Carolina, but I am hard-pressed to believe that he'll ever get another shot in the NFL anytime soon. Patricia. Matt Patricia came to Detroit with a plan. He was going to install the Patriot way. There was just, one tiny problem. Matt Patricia is not Bill Belichick. The man went 13-29 and won with the Lions. Specialty was supposed to be defense, and yet the Lions ranked in the bottom 10 in every defensive category during his tenure. But the real issue wasn't the scheme. It was the culture. The my way or the highway approach that worked in New England completely alienated players in Detroit. He either traded away or cut talented players who pushed back. The Thanksgiving 2020 game was the final straw. A 41-25 blowout loss to the Texans in prime time. National television. Patricia was mercifully fired shortly thereafter, and somehow he went back to New England. He was the Patriots' offensive play caller in 2022. Yes, offense, and that didn't go so well either. He bounced around in various roles before eventually landing as Ohio State's defensive coordinator, which I think feels like his destiny at this point. Another guy with all the know-how that just doesn't have the leadership chops to make it as a head coach in the NFL. Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher went 7-9 so many times that it kind of just became a meme that people still reference to this day. He became the living, breathing embodiment of NFL mediocrity, if you even want to call it that. Not quite bad enough to get fired, but not good enough to actually matter. Then came Hard Knocks in 2016. During the show, Fisher said his Rams team was too talented to go 7-9, 8-8, 9-7, or heck, even 10-6. Rams started 4-9, and Fisher was fired before he could even find out how wrong he was. The best part? He had signed a contract extension just 8 days before getting canned. Fisher has not coached in the NFL since 2016. He's now the commissioner of Arena Football 1 and the majority owner of the Nashville Cats. Arena Football. Yeah, that's where life as the 7-9 meme eventually leads ya. But which coach's flameout was the most entertaining for you? Was there anyone that we may have missed? Who do you think had the most spectacular disaster? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.